Crusade.
Hey guys, AJC with Casual Crusade here. So this video, this one's probably going to run a little bit longer than some of my other ones. I'm going to be talking in detail about a lot of the clashes that we've been seeing with the conservative movement, namely with conflicts between the likes of Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Nick Fuentes, Alex Jones, all this stuff that's been going on. Now, here's my belief from the onset. I strongly believe that we as Americans have been putting too much faith in talking heads. People who have a certain level of feng shui and presentation with content that encourages viewers to watch that content and to, by virtue of partaking in the content, believe they're making a difference. It's a bunch of crap. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with being informed. In fact, that is one of the most important things that we as Americans can do. But knowing about something and doing something about what you know are two completely different things. They say knowledge is power. I would say that knowledge acted upon is power. Because you can be like a hard drive. But if you're not connected to the computer, then you're just dead weight. You're useless information. So I strongly believe that a lot of the, like on that more 30,000 foot spiritual level view, I think that a lot of the conflicts that we're seeing between some of the people I just mentioned, Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, that the reason why we're seeing a lot of this stuff happen is because we've been putting faith in these individuals and not using the information that we've been receiving properly. Remember, we're American citizens. Our job is to keep the government in check, ultimately by taking part in local politics, which affects the local governance, which then expands to that macro perspective of national politics and national governance. But it starts with the cell, the core root, which is the American citizen. And unfortunately, the American citizen has been bombarded with propaganda and disease and freaking all kinds of just debilitating things, ranging from the pandemic to just psychological warfare things that we observe and know about on a day-to-day basis. The worst one, though, in my mind, is the passive munching on information and not actually doing anything about what we know. But let's look into some of the conflicts that have occurred. So first and foremost, with Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens, Shapiro has denounced Candace as a fraud and a grifter, calling her evil because of things that she said about Charlie Kirk's murder. Charlie Kirk's murder was one of the inciting events that has led to the split in the MAGA movement. And for the record, I wouldn't consider myself a MAGA guy. I wouldn't consider myself a Republican or Democrat or any of those things. I am first and foremost a Christian, and my allegiance is to the kingdom of heaven. Everything else is secondary. So religious zealot, I guess, is my political faction. But we've seen that relationship between Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens tumble into personal insults and claims about the Jews and having conflicts over American interests. We've seen Shapiro go after Tucker Carlson for, quote, laundering bad ideas by hosting Nick Fuentes, Andrew Tate, those types of people. And ultimately, the accusation being that that is immoral, these people are anti-Semitic, and it's promulgating conspiracy theories that are doing more to divide than to unite. And of course, Carlson has been a pretty vocal critic of Israel, especially in recent months with his interview with Mike Huckabee, and then another politician before that whose name escapes me. I believe it was Ted Cruz. Yes, he did an interview with Ted Cruz. And we ultimately saw a lot of the same tactics, weirdly enough, that leftists would use to frame a person and to get the gotcha moments, which I didn't really appreciate. I can appreciate the fact that Tucker is a critic, and the majority of his criticisms are on the basis. Well, actually, I shouldn't speak so swiftly. I haven't listened to him in detail enough, but there have been some things where he's gone off the facts, and that I can appreciate. Others have been taking a series of facts and just kind of tying them together to come up with something that may or may not be true. Moving on, though, and this is Ben Shapiro against Megyn Kelly. So we see that Shapiro is kind of one of the key offenders in this context, and a lot of it is centered around the death of Charlie Kirk, because Ben Shapiro accused Megyn Kelly of cowardice for not outright condemning Candace Owens for the things that she had said, which were previously mentioned. And the term that he used, quoting, was programming directly into the Groyper right. Things have quickly gotten personal from there between Candace and Megyn Kelly. Needless to say, there have been issues between Ben Shapiro and Nick Fuentes, and Alex Jones as well. But what's pretty concerning is the fact that, I mean, that's just one guy who's just been nuking all of these different commentators. Just division. It paints a bad light on the Daily Wire as an organization when you take these incredibly talented people who are vocal proponents of the America First agenda, let's say, and taking them, and rather than trying to find the things that would unite them, bashing them for, quote, conspiracy theories. The danger is in trying to get into any one of these camps. You're not going to find a perfect representation of the prima facie evidence that exists in reality pertaining to these specific issues, other than looking at the evidence. These people are just, rather than viewing them as the source for information, view them as connections to the information. If I could encourage you guys to do anything, it would be that, because I've been watching Alex Jones, for example, for nearly 15 years, and I'm 25. So I have been interested in the things that he's had to say for that amount of time. And some of it has just been crazy. Others have proven to be true. But does that mean that Alex Jones is the sage of wisdom who has all of the facts? No. But he's leaning in the right direction, and not just a conservative direction, but in the direction of truth, because that's what ultimately matters. The likes of Ben Shapiro, who I've watched for maybe 10 years now, very respectable opinions on politics and philosophy, and the intermingling of just fantastic principles and giving solid advice to people. I mean, props to him. He's been going good. But there are issues with pride with this guy. I mean, there's an ego there that is just, it stinks to high heaven. I mean, I hate to throw the Tanakh at this guy, but behold the proud, his soul is not upright within him, but the just shall live by his faith. I mean, oy vey. And, okay, that was cheesy. Oh, man. Okay. But the primary tensions with these people seem to be over Israel and Charlie Kirk. And it's disappointing to see that so much division has stemmed from these two sources. But the point I'm trying to make is don't be swayed by a lot of the division that you're seeing in these camps. View these people as not sources of information, but connections, conduits of information, and just take a bit of the facts, or rather take a bit of the information that they have to give, and then verify it with the facts afterwards. And don't put your trust in them. I'm more inclined to trust Alex Jones personally because he's seemed to. What am I trying to say here? Like, he's been the most consistent one in terms of just nailing things over and over and over again. Whereas, Tucker, good old Tucker, he's been kind of about some issues. And Megyn Kelly, with her time at Fox News, with some of the things that she has decried as being false. I think there was a Pizzagate thing that she did against Alex Jones that was like, well, now that's proven right. So egg on your face. And finally, like Candace, I mean, she seems a bit out there. I'm just saying, like, just my opinion here. So, like those are my biases, like those who are who I'm inclined to listen to and who I'm inclined not to. But I'm still willing to hear them because we can judge what it is that they're saying on the basis of fact and evidence, and also praying, just asking the Lord for guidance and to help us figure out what exactly is going on in the present moment. So ultimately, cursed is the man who puts his trust in man and makes flesh his strength. But, if we put our faith in God and we put our trust in God, then we can't go wrong. So, yeah, this is actually isn't too long. It's not too long of a video, I don't think. So, yeah, until the next one. Bye for now.